Excellent work.
Okay, very good.
Um,
Real quick before we let you go, we got to get moving. We got to do NHL. We got to talk NHL.
we'll just
Can we
bet
talk
over.
NHL?
Yeah. What do you got? I mean,
Uh,
PSU Auto's doing an unbelievable job again.
uh, at PSU Auto on Twitter, incredible resource. And if you're
Oh,
not using it, you're just losing money. I mean, you're just
yeah.
missing out. He just puts it in a nice form for us. Our New Jersey Devils. We did this during football. You had me in team stores. I got Texas Rangers gear. I got Houston Texan gear. I got all gear. I got to go get a Devils sweater. I mean,
Yeah.
this isn't just a hat. I mean, I
Oh,
got to go. I might get the whole goalie outfit with the shin guards and everything and just wear them around my
ooh.
house. I mean, the Devils, dude, the Devils continue. First period over, goal in the first 10. We got him again last night. I mean, I'm having so much fun with this because it's automatic. It'll never lose. So I'm just going to keep playing it. I mean, I'm taking it by itself. I'm parlaying it with soccer. I'm parlaying it with South Dakota State last night. Give me a little goal in the first 10. I'll parlay that to Gonzaga. I mean, I got 19 bets going on the Devils, and they just keep the ching, 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 ching. Here's the numbers. You ready?
Yep.
First 10, yes. Goal in the first 10, yes, for the Devils. They're on a 25-3 run.
It's insane. It can't be.
25-3 run.
Wow.
Hello. Their first period over 1.5. New Jersey Devils, first period over 1.5. 26-6.
I mean, it's just don't. It just doesn't
25
make
and
any
3,
sense.
yes. 26 and
No,
6 over. But they're not the only ones, Dave. I mean,
no,
there's
no.
there's some teams just flying over. Let me give you a
Yes.
couple more on first. And again, at PSU Auto, go follow him. The chart's right there. That's straight what I'm reading off of. It's really good. Anaheim, 14-2, yes, first 10.
Yep.
Toronto, 15-4. Florida, 21-6. Columbus, 24-7. Montreal, 16-5, yes. And Winnipeg, 19-6, yes. That's goal in the first 10, Dave.
There's no defense for it from the book's perspective because you can't. I mean, it's a prop that's offered. It's fixed. It's the first 10 minutes. So how do you defense it or how do you adjust it when the numbers are so overwhelmingly in, these teams' favors? You just keep juicing it. But at some point, you run the risk of pricing everybody out and not doing any action. So if you're actually a book that takes bets or encourages action, you can't make the price too high because now what are you doing? You're losing customers. So it's an interesting dichotomy for the book. You're like, all right, we keep losing to this, but maybe they'll bet something else. Maybe so you put it 180, you put it $2. You can't really go over. We've almost reached the peak of the pricing, as the book. So it's hard. I've never seen anything like this though. Like it's so overwhelmingly, and it keeps happening. Usually these runs last 2 weeks, a month tops. This is going on 2 months. I mean, that's a big sample size for the number of games.
25-3. I mean, that isn't a 4-0 run. I mean, my God.
That's what I mean. And now you're like, okay, the sports calendar time of year, usually this is the stretch run. We're getting ready for the NHL playoffs at the beginning of April. We have really a much longer time left. There's more games than you think. And I think the books haven't really realized that yet. The NHL trade deadline has not happened yet. Okay. It's coming. There's going to be teams that make moves that are going to solidify the one thing they think they need. If Boston gets a defenseman, immediately become maybe the favorite in the East. I mean, Boston is a really good hockey team that nobody watches and nobody pays any attention to outside of Boston. The West, the Avalanche just lost to our said Devils last night. The Devils were 0-18, trailing by 3 goals this season. They had not won a game if they trailed by 3 goals at one time this season. They beat the prohibitive Western Conference favorite Colorado Avalanche last night. After being down 3-0, they scored 5 unanswered goals, won the game 5-3, and won their first game of the season, trailing by 3 goals at any point during the game. So crazy things start to happen. And again, you're going to see the NHL kind of take that NBA kind of approach in the book where when you bet 2 bad teams, well, I mean, Right now, you just bet over, period. You don't need to bet two good teams, two bad teams, two anything. Doesn't matter if you're playing a backup goalie, the third string goalie, the Zamboni guy, or the number one guys. You just bet over in the NHL. There were 11 games yesterday. 10 of them went over. I mean, it's not that hard right now. It will get harder, and the playoffs are a completely different beast. I would argue that the NHL playoffs are still the best playoffs of all the playoffs, and it's the hardest trophy to win in sports. Would you agree?
Probably yes. NCAA tournament's a pretty good playoffs. Does that count as playoffs? You
It
talking pro
is.
sports only?
It is, but it's six.
NFL gave you drama. NFL
It's
gave you
six
drama.
games. In the NHL, you need 16 wins, 4 different series. You got to win 4 times, and it's every other night in one of the most physically demanding sports. That's why I always make the argument for hockey, because I played and I love it. But I still think, put it this way, is it the most fair one? The 8 seed can win the Stanley Cup. Has. I mean, it hasn't been that many years since the Kings won it as an 8 seed. There's teams that have won it as the 8 seed, got in on the last week of the season.
Well, I'll say this. I'll just tell you on that, because after the first 10 minutes, I've already turned it off and moved on to the basketball.
Okay.
So you just tell me about it. I don't know what happens.
Enough.
But okay, let me ask you this. Speaking of that, because here's what gets me to stay tuned in.
Yep.
The runs on second period over 1.5 and third period over 1.5 might be more ridiculous than the first period overs. So what do we do with those? Do I bet those? Winnipeg is on a 14-0 run over 1.5 third period. Do I just bet that now? I don't even need to watch the game. I just bet it now, right?
You don't need to watch the second period. The second period is the game the period where the most goals are scored in general. They switch ends. They have long line changes, it's called. For hockey guys, it's a long line change. You have to go extra to get to your bench. It results in usually a bad line change, odd man rushes. The second period is the period where the goals are scored the most.
Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, click on another video right here on the screen. And if you really liked it, consider subscribing below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.